So in this graph theory, we are going to look at the different types of graphs, subgraphs, operations on graphs, walk, path, and circuit, connected graphs, disconnected graph, and components, Euler's and Hamilton graphs, planar graphs, coloring of graphs. So these are the main concepts that we'll see in the graph theory. Anyhow, in the last lecture, we have seen the concepts such as undirected graph and weighted graphs. See, a graph is a collection of vertices and edges. So it can be represented as a graph G is equal to V comma E, consisting of V, that is the vertices, a non-empty set of vertices, and E, a set of edges. The line that connects between two vertices is going to be edge. This edge may be without direction or with direction. If there exists direction, then it is said to be directed graph. If there is no direction mentioned on that, then it is said to be a undirected graph. So in this graph, two categories are there, mainly the weighted graph, so there is a directional graph, that is, and undirected graph. So in these two categories, again, if you add a weight or if you mention a weight on the each edge, then it's said to be weighted graph. And in this weighted graphs also, again, two categories will be there. One is weighted directed graph, another is weighted undirected graph. So these are the four different categories of graphs that we can see in general. And there are so many other graphs based upon the representation. Even trees, if you look at the tree that you draw in the data structures like binary tree, binary search tree, these are also a kind of, or we can say, trees. That means we used to use this particular trees concept in graphs, for especially for identifying of the minimal spanning trees, and what is the minimum path that you can achieve from one edge to other edge. So for that, we use this particular tree concept. So the main difference between trees and graphs is in graphs you will find cycles, or all the edges are connected, and in the trees you won't find the cycles. Okay, so a parent will be there and children will be there, and child will be having other subchilds like that. So an edge has either one or two vertices associated with it called its endpoints. An edge is said to be said to connect its endpoints. So here is an example. The vertices are like this: S comma U comma V comma W comma X comma Y comma Z, and edges are the lines between these particular vertices: X comma S, X comma V, X comma V. So that is, see here, X comma V, okay, X comma V, and there is another edge from V to X. So usually whenever there is an undirected graph like this, if no other edge is there like this, we used to assume that, okay, there is a path from V to X to V as well as V to X. Okay, and sometimes you will find this kind of graphs also, where even though it is an undirected, you will be finding another undirected graph, another undirected edge between X to V and V to X. So there is a special category of graph that is said to be, we'll see afterwards, that kind of graphs are. So here X comma V1, X comma V2. Actually, no need to mention these different paths, but we can mention this in single path itself because it is undirectional. You can move from X to V or V to X. And this representation is also correct. There is no, we cannot blame this particular representation. But if you add like this unnecessarily, it is just like a kind of a duplicacy or redundancy that you are going to add in the graph. Mainly this kind of representations will get problem when we check for the loops. So because X to V you will go and V to X you will go, again X to V B to X. This is a kind of looping kind of thing. So usually in programming, we do this kind of, we'll try to avoid this kind of edges, and we'll try to use only one edge, which is unidirectional edge between X to V. So that means this idea, basic idea of this graph is to give an awareness that this way of representation is also possible in graphs. For example, consider a graph G is equal to V comma E, where V is equal to A, B, C, D, and edge is equal to A comma B, A comma C, this kind of things. Now, degree of vertex denoted by the degree of V, the number of edges incident with the vertex V. That means the number of edges that is incident with the vertex V. So A to C and A to B. So obviously from this A, two edges are going out. So the degree of A is 2. And from B also, since it is an undirected graph, there is an undirected edge is there. So from B, two edges are going out. So degree of B is 2. And from C, there are 3 are going out. So that is the reason the degree is 3 for C. And for D, it is 1. So that is what they called in degree. So, sorry, that is what we call degrees. While coming to the directed graph, if there is a point, okay, if there exists a point between one vertex to other vertex, that means there is only one path available. Okay, you cannot go from vertex A to, for example, there is a edge, for example, like this, A to C. Here is an arrow mark. Okay, here is an arrow mark, means there is a path to A to C is possible, but not C to A. In such a cases, C will not be having the degree of 3. The reason is C don't have the path from path to A. Okay, it is only getting the path from A. So in such a cases, we'll call it as in degree. That means how many number of edges coming into the node. Okay. Out degree is nothing but how many number of edges going out from that particular node. So in case of directed edges and directed graphs, we'll mention it as in degree and out degree. While in case of undirected graphs, we'll mention simply as degree because it is bidirectional. But how to identify via programming? How to identify these things via programming? So in the last lecture itself, I given you 2 methods. One is we can represent the graphs with the adjacency matrix and adjacency list concept. Okay, so if you look at, if you can recall this, whatever the graph was given, whatever the vertices are there, you have to place it in rows and columns, and you check whether there is a path between the vertices or not. If there exists a path, you place 1 in the corresponding matrix. Right? If there is no edge, then keep it as 0. Like that, you have to fill that matrix. This is called adjacency matrix representation. Adjacency list representation, you list out the vertices and make a single linked list by mentioning what are the incident edges. Okay, so for example, if you consider the same graph, now you take this graph and try to draw the adjacency matrix and adjacency list for this A, B, C, D. It's very simple. You can do it in 1 minute. Do it fast. C, D. A to A, there is no path, so keep it 0. A to B, is there any path? Obviously, there is a path. A to C, is there any path? Obviously, path is there. And A to D, there is no path, so 0. B to A, obviously there is a path. And B to B, no path. B to C, there is a path. B to D, no path. Next, Go to the C2A. C2A path is there. C2B path is there. C2C no path. C2D there is a path. Next D2A. D2A is there a path? No. D2B no path. D2C there is a path. D2D no path. Now degree in case of undirected graph. After forming this matrix, programmatically how you identify the degree of a vertex. Just you go through the row wise and add all ones, you will get the degree. Clear? Either you can take row or column. It's of okay. Either you can go through the row or column. There is no difference. You can go through this because it is unidirectional. So we know that this is of 0, 0 location. This is 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Okay, 0, 4, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So only thing is you increment the column value by keeping the same row value, and if it is equal to 1, add it. Otherwise, don't add it. Skip it. So finally, you will get what is the degree of corresponding vertex. Clear? Now assume that there is an arrow mark from A to C. Okay, there is only the arrow mark from A to C. Assume like that. Now how this particular matrix can be changed? A to C there is a arrow mark, means the pointer is towards C. So how many outgoing edges from A? So A to B there is a path, and A to C is also path is there. While coming to the B to A, obviously path is the biggest unidirectional disease. Okay. Now B to B no path, B to C path is there, B to D. Now C to A there is no path because we assumed that there is an arrow mark towards C, that is directional. So C to A is not possible. So hence it is 0. Okay. C to B and C to C, C to D. So C to B is there and C to D is there. Now you can see, now you can assume that so D to C is there in path? Obviously there is no path D to C. Sorry, D to C one path is there, this one. And A to C is there. So C is having the out degree now in the case 2. That means if you go for rows, 2 are there. Okay, 2 is the out degree for C. If you assume that there is a arrow mark from A to C. Via column, if you look at, that is in degree. Via column, if you count, this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is in degree. That means in case of directed graph, if you want to calculate the in degree, you have to freeze the column value, okay, and go through the rows, and you check whether it is 1 or not. If it is 1, then you add it, so you will get the in degrees. If you want to calculate out degree, then freeze row and go through the column and check whether the corresponding value is 1 or not. If it is 1, then you add it, so you will get the in degree. So with this, you can come to know that after forming the adjacency matrix, if you go through the rows, then you will get the out degree. If you go through the column, then you will get the in degree. Clear? Now we'll move on to the next topic. So even and odd vertex. Even and odd vertex. If the degree of the vertex is even, then the vertex is called even vertex. If the degree of the vertex is odd, then it is called as odd vertex. So degree of a graph, the degree of the graph is the largest vertex degree of the graph. So in the previous case, what is the degree of this graph? So 3 is the degree of the graph. So for the previous graph, the degree of the graph is 3 because C is having the degree as 3. So this is a lemma. In a graph, the sum of all the degrees of all the vertices is equal to twice the number of edges. Okay. The sum of all the degrees of all vertices is equal to twice the number of edges. This is the lemma. There is no proofs and all. Just remember it. Now we'll see different types of graphs. Null graph. Null graph, if you put points here and there, that is null graph. There is no edge between that. So there is no edge between its vertices. A null graph is also called as empty graph. So here are the examples. A null graph with 2 vertices, null graph with 3 vertices, 4 vertices, etc. Tree is the graph which has only one vertex. Just you put a point like this, then it's a trivial graph. Simple graph, a graph is called simple or strict graph if the graph is undirected, does not contain any loops, does not contain multiple edges. So if these 3 are satisfied, then it is said to be a simple graph. So this is multigraph. If in a graph multiple edges between the same set of vertices are allowed, it is called multigraph. The first example that we have seen is having 2 edges between the same vertices, so which is called multigraph. In other words, it is a graph having at least one loop or multiple edges. So here the context of loop here is the loop should between 2 vertices, I think so. Here does not contain any loops means, so A to C is the path is there, but B to C, actually there is an indirect loop is there, but still it is not a thing. So in other words, it is a graph having at least one loop or multiple edges. This is what we call multigraph means. Directed graph, yeah, this is the directed graph. Okay, so a graph G is equal to V comma E is called a directed graph if the edge set is made of order vertex pairs like this. Edge are directed by arrows. Directed graph is also known as digraphs. Okay. So can you go for forming the adjacency matrix for this? It's very simple. A, B, C, just on row and column. A to B, there is a path. A to C, no path. A to A, there is no path. Okay. B to A, there is no path. B to B, no path. B to C there is a path. Okay. By forming that matrix, go through the columns, you will get the out degree. Go through the columns, you will get the in degree. Go through the rows of corresponding vertex, you will get the out degree. So undirected graph, there is no edges, so it is an undirected graph. There is no arrow mark on the edge, so it is undirected graph. A regular graph. A graph is regular if all vertices of the graph have the same degree. So A, B, C, D, the 4 vertices here are having the same degree. Then it is said to be the regular graph. In regular graph G of degree R, the degree of each vertex of G is R. Next is complete graph. A graph is called complete graph if every 2 vertices pair are joined by exactly one edge. It contains all possible edges. A complete graph with n vertices contains exactly nc2 edges. So here A, B, C, three vertices are there. They have been connected with exactly one vertices. But here A, B, C, D second graph, if you look at A, B, C, D, then all vertices are connected with exactly one edge. That is from A to B, A to C, A to D. In the same way from other edges, so other vertices, sorry. So a complete graph with n vertices contains exactly nc2 edges. This is a basic formula that you can remember. Connected graph. A graph is connected if any two vertices of graph are connected by a path, or we can visit from any vertex to any other vertex. So there should not be any disconnection. So actually, this particular, for example, if you look at second graph, if you look at even first graph also, either if you remove this edge from C to D, this particular graph is disconnected and formed into two subgraphs. Like that, if you remove the edge between D to F, obviously this entire graph will become two subgraphs. So from B to H, I want to traverse. So obviously there is a path. From any vertex to any vertex, if you have a path, then it is said to be connected graph. Disconnected graphs. So just you remove the edge, just as we discussed previously, then we got the disconnected graph. Cycle graph, a graph with n vertices with n greater than or equal to 3 and n edges is called a cyclic graph or cycle graph if all its edges form a cycle of length n. So this is a cyclic graph. So A to B, B to C, this is the cyclic graph. So if the degree of each vertex in the graph is 2, then it is, so if a degree of each vertex in the graph is 2, then it is called as cyclic graph. A graph having at least one cycle is called a cyclic graph. Here A to, see this is one cycle you have, A, B, C, D, C, F, G, E, F, C, F, G and E. These are the two different cycles you have. But in an entire graph, you have two cycles. If at least one cycle is there, then it is called cyclic graph. Acyclic graph, you won't find any cycles in that. And sometimes this can also be considered as a tree kind of concept. This is also a tree kind of things. Okay, a cyclic graph. A graph having no cycles is called a cyclic graph. So if you look at this, this is like a kind of tree only. Okay. Finite graph. A graph having finite number of vertices and edges is called as a finite graph. So that means you can count how many number of edges are there, how many number of vertices are there, then it's a finite graph. While coming to the infinite graph, a graph having infinite number of vertices and edges, if you look at like this will form a mesh network. It's a kind of mesh network. So the advantage of this mesh network is usually, next is a bipartite graph. So what is this bipartite graph? In this, vertices can be divided into two sets. Okay, and you can make a mapping between the two sets. Vertices can be divided into two sets, x and y. The vertices of the set x only join with the vertices of set y. None of the vertices belong to the same set will join each other. This kind of graphs are said to be bipartite graphs. Now here complete bipartite graphs, where you will be having the complete mapping. So it is a graph in which each vertex in the first set is joined to every single vertex in the second set. A complete bipartite graph is denoted by kx comma y, where the graph G contains x vertices in the first set and y vertices in the second set. So this is what we call complete bipartite graph. And pseudographs, a graph may include loops and possibly multiple edges connecting same pair of nodes are called pseudographs. There is no things like that. Specific formation kind of things. Mixed graph, as we have seen, imaginary assumption that one edge will be having arrow and another edge don't have the arrows, which is undirected. So if you have the combination like this, then it is called as mixed graph. Type of graphs, here subgraphs. A subgraph of a graph G is graph H, that is, it's a part of the graph. Already we have seen the subgraph in the last lecture itself. So here, this is the graph if you look at and 1, 2, 3 is the subgraph of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this main graph.